Now we're going to learn more about list values. So I'm going to click on list values. There are a few kinds of lists. One thing to know about each one of them, they contain more than one value. There's list 1 through list 60, which are called work lists because the values that are placed in them is only done when the program is running. Then there's lists called list A through list R, which are application lists. They can contain values before the program is started. So if you have a frequency table you want to use in your application, you can put it in one of these lists and it'll be there when the program starts. There are also special lists like ranv here, which contains 10,000 random values. Let's take a look at that list. Here is ranv. It's at offset 0, so it highlighted the value at offset 0. It has 10,000 values. We can use the position pole here to go see the end of the table. Here I click the bottom of the position pole. Here is offset 9,999. Now let's go back to the beginning. Here it says it is offset 0, and it also put that value over here. Because over here you can do more things to it. You can position where the cursor is, and say I wanted to make this 10, and go over here and say put a 1 there. Notice it changes down here also. Numbers can also be put in through the keyboard. Right now the cursor is here. I can press a 4 and that will become a 4. So you can enter through this little keyboard or through pressing keys. When there, you can go left and right in that number by using the arrow keys. If you use the other arrow keys for down and up, you can change where you're at. For big jumps though, you should use the cursor and simply click the other value. See, I can start going down here just by clicking them. Also, you should know that all numbers are positive unless there's a minus sign. If I hit the minus key now, that number has become negative. In order to get the number back to being positive, I have to press the plus key. It goes back to being positive. If this is a floating point number, you can use letters of the alphabet to designate where the decimal place is. Right now, the number is 1289. There's no decimal. But if I press a lowercase a, that number is now 128.9. If instead of a little a, I put a capital A, that number now is really 12,890. You can see down here 12,890. If I go back to the lowercase a, you'll go down here and it's 1289A, meaning there's one decimal place to the left, which means it's 128.9. You can also copy values out of the list. To do that, you want to green highlight the values you want to copy. Well, I'm going to start the value list here. I click twice to make it green. Then I go to the end of where I want to copy and click, and it green highlights all of the values between here where I double clicked and here where I single clicked the end. Now at the top here it says I can copy those values, so I'm going to click on copy. Now it says I have stored 10 values in the green copy area. Now I can also zero a list of values. So I'll go back here and I'll click it once to make it yellow, twice for green, and the third time for red. Now I can click the end of a list of values. It highlights them all red. And now up here it says I can zero those values. So I'm going to click 0. It says now that it has stored 20 values in the red storage area. Now I'll go back here. I'll click the first one again once, twice to make it green, and now it says I can paste the 10 values in the green storage area where I had copied. So I'll say paste those values in there. Well, now I have replaced the 10 values that I'd previously copied. Now I'm going to go again. I'm going to click here once, twice, 3 times to make it red. It now says I have 20 values in the red copy area. If you click paste, I'll put the 20 values back. Now all the values are back. I can also now click on Store, and those 20 values have now been written to the hard drive. So now they can be copied anywhere, in any list, in any application. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go down here, click here, make it green, but I'm not going to go and paste. I'm going to go and retrieve. Notice the values up here, 20 values, have now been copied down here. So you can copy parts of a list from any application's list to another application and paste the values there. This is subprogram 1 of the Basics program, and it's at tab 26. This routine displays 8 patterns on the screen. I'm going to execute the application. Here are the 8 patterns it displays on the screen. You can see here there is a loop for I of 0 to next I 7, 0 to 7 or 8 loops. In the loop, we see it getting a pattern with value in P. Here it gets a pattern. There is a list of patterns at list C plus 20, and each time the value of I changes, it gets another pattern number. So now let's click here and update that instruction. Here we see the list C, And here we see offset 20. We're going to click there. Now it shows us list C, tells us that we're at offset 20. It highlights it at offset 20. Tells us the value there is 35. And then allows us to change it. But let's say it's not the first one we wanted to change, but let's say it's this one, 235, that we really wish that that had been 236. So we change that to 236 and enter it. Oh, but look what happened up here. It changed our offset to 23. So that's not the way we would want to do it. We go back there again. Notice we went to offset 23, but the list really starts at offset 20. We must click at the offset we want to be in the instruction before we leave. If we had left it at 20, everything is fine. But we went over here and changed a value. Now we'll change it back again to 235. Now it's 235. I'm not going to hit the E because that ended this part of entering the instruction. I'm going to put the offset back to 20. There it is at 20. Now I can leave, and the instruction is correct. That's how you enter a list value into an instruction. While programming, get information from the glossary by clicking Info. Thank you for watching.